it was really fun the last one we did. So we figured, you know what, let's just keep doing this. I mean, especially in times like this, you know, when you really need to engage the community, and how do you engage people better than like this, you know? It's one thing to go back and forth and talk and type and text and all that, but you just don't get the same interaction with one another.
Or lack thereof.
Right. It's like, yeah, I'm good for another day. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. When your animals start to evade you, then you know it's time to take a shower.
Yeah, I don't exactly
know. So we are officially live on YouTube and Periscope. So everybody say hi.
Oh, what's up?
Thanks everybody for joining the second, I would say annual, but I guess second weekly Crypto Campfire Open Forum during this crazy world that we're living in right now. So any opportunity that we can get to start bringing everybody together and have big conversations and just have a good time and chat with everybody. So why don't we introduce everybody who's on the stream. Kat, you want to start with you, and then we'll just run down the list.
Sure. I'm Kat. I am currently in Fairfax, Virginia, and we're not totally in lockdown yet. So it's pretty weird. It's wild times. Crypto advocate here. Cheers. Sip, sip.
Sip, sip.
Sip, sip.
Got my espresso.
Paul, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Paul McNeil. I'm actually not far from you, Kat. I'm in Sterling, Virginia, Loudoun County.
There you go. I can hop on over and come visit.
Exactly. Well, got to make sure we stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's me.
LT, welcome. Laura, go ahead. I tagged her. She better.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
All right, let's hit Piper. Piper, welcome. You want to introduce yourself?
Sorry.
Hey, yeah. Can you see me or not?
We cannot see you. We don't have any video.
Okay, my phone says it's in safe driving mode. And I'm not driving.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'll figure it out at some point. But I'm in Northern Illinois, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about myself. I'm gonna fix the driving thing here. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What's up, Piper?
Man, so this world, like, it just keeps getting crazier. You know, there's so many more states that are locked down. I mean, we knew this was coming, but it's and Kat, you said you're not locked down. Paul, have things changed for you since we last talked? It's still about the same.
No, it's still about the same. But again, as I'd mentioned, at 4:30, they're going to have a briefing at the White House. Again, rumor has it they might make some kind of announcement on that briefing about like a national shelter in place. So I don't know if that'll happen or not. But, you know, things are continuing to evolve. You know, this is continuing to get more and more serious, it seems. So, but for myself, not too much has changed.
I don't know if to say that's good or bad. I mean, good that it hasn't gotten worse, but I think we're going to be kind of in this spot for a little while. You know, it's kind of interesting to see how people are handling this and how people are starting to try to find things to do. I know a lot of people are actually trying to find some constructive ways to spend their time and maybe find ways that they can contribute to efforts to either curb the spread of this or help people that are dealing with being sick from it. Has anybody seen any really amazing stories out there of what people are doing to try and help?
Wait, I
hear birds and crickets
in the background. That's perfect.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I tell you, here I just see a lot of people walking and biking, and I've
Yeah.
never seen this many people out walking and biking, but it seems like people are getting out walking.
I think, as a disaster such as this, as something that's going on as dramatic and as impacting as this, to see this evolution of how we think, right? When it first hits us, we're like, oh my God, there's that fear factor that comes in. And then after that, there's, there might be that panic factor or that panic phase that people go through. And then once you get past that, it's like, the acceptance phase. Okay, this is where we're at. What can we do to make the best of it? Right. Hopefully that's, where people tend to go. And you see a lot more, I've seen a lot more chat groups such as yours, Laura, and, Alon Gorin throwing that Zoom call out last week, which kind of sparked us and inspired us to do ours, and just communities coming together. I think that's one of the biggest positive changes I'm seeing is that, when people realize that we all have the same end goal, and that same end goal is ultimate survival, period. It's the continuation of mankind. And when we can all grasp that and come together on that, right, that's what's important. And I see a lot of communities and a lot of people actually waking up to that.
Like a 3-month event.
Right.
But you just mentioned that I sent that Twitter poll out. And again, I have friends that I'm talking to. They're like, well, we're planning to do this deal in July, and I'm like, guys, I don't think you're going to be doing anything in July. Like, I don't think people get this is not going to be something that's just going to flip and be okay in 3 months. I think it's not settled into people yet how severe this is. I think that life is really going to change for a lot of people going forward. I don't know how long it's going to be, but you're right.
And even when it does get under control, I mean, what's going to happen the next time there's a virus? I mean, is this like the new normal? We're going to go into like complete shutdown mode. And yeah, it's pretty wild to think about how this is setting a precedent for what's going to happen in the future. Right.
And that's actually scary to think of that, that this is the response to that on a daily basis, or, to become the new norm when it comes to fighting an epidemic. It's like, there's got to be better means of doing it, I think. And it's just a matter of finding that solution, because right now we're in reactive mode, right? Everybody's in a reactive mode right now. Governments, people, communities, whatever, we're all, on the reactive side. And once we get on the proactive side of things, you start looking at different avenues of, okay, how can we do this differently? Right now, you're just making stuff happen. So I think that plays a lot into the future of what this is all going to boil down to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope for sure.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
there's a lot of really good learning experiences here if we can pay attention.
Right. I
Yes, where
told
people have to really stay in place. Again, I've been out and I've went to the store and things like that, and you try to minimize as much as possible, and it can be challenging to really stay in place, but it's required. We should do it ourselves.
right. And I think that's the only thing that's going to keep the government from, enacting that, or the only thing I should say that would keep them from having to enact it. Yep. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was naive today to think that Zach and I were going to hop in the car and go drive to DC and just drive around the tidal basin and see the cherry blossoms. And my friend who lives in DC texted me, is like, no, they're shutting all the streets down because like the parks there are just overrun with people and tourists just hanging out, walking around, beautiful day, checking out the cherry blossoms. Like I was going to stay in my car thinking that I don't know, but still I would have been part of the problem out on the streets. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. Good call.
I know.
One of the biggest things I keep hearing is that, and I've said it myself even, I got to keep working. I have to keep bringing income in because I still have debt to pay, right? I still have responsibilities on a financial level. But I think a better and more responsible, proactive approach to that would be to say, let me call all of my creditors and explain my situation and work out, okay, what can I do? This is how much money I have that I can live on. But if I go to give you guys money that I owe you, it'll deplete what I have set aside to live on until whatever the government subsidies come in or whatever assistance that they deem necessary to give us, and to be able to continue to provide the necessities that we need. What can we do? And I think that's a proactive thing that people can do now. If you don't have, I've never been fortunate enough to have the golden rule of 6 months worth of bills in the bank. Never. you know, and I don't consider a 401k, I don't consider a pension, and I don't consider my crypto investment, you know, a bank account, right? Or something that's meant to be used for bills. That if they came down to dire necessity, then absolutely, but that's supposed to be for the future. So in turn, I think the best thing people can do is reach out to those creditors, explain the situation, you know, and we're all in this together. They're in the same thing.
Reach out to those creditors. Who's going to answer the phone? Don't you only usually get dial press number 2?
But how many
4.
are working from home now? But you're right. You're right. You know, I'm just
I mean, who's going to answer the damn phone?
the same person that's going to call you when you haven't made a payment. How's that?
Oh, okay. Touche.
Right. Unless they work at Hooters, but they don't have a job now. So, right. Well,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like your electric company or your cellular company, like they should be contacting us, letting us know what they expect or, you know, how this is all play out. Yeah.
Well, one
Shouldn't be
thing I
the other
will
way around.
say is I've received a lot of emails from a lot of a lot of different creditors, you know, that say, hey, you know, we understand this whole predicament. Everybody's in, blah, blah, blah. If you have any issues, you know, please feel free to contact us and work out a solution. You know, so
Oh,
and it's
okay.
been shocking to see that many people or that many creditors coming forth to actually say those things. You know, so short of the government mandating that they put a debt freeze on things, which I think they should do anyways. I think all creditors, regardless of impact, should put a debt freeze for everyone until this thing comes to fruition, until it comes to an end. And at least to the point where, you know what, for how many years have we suffered the consequence of our decisions? And I shouldn't, maybe suffered is not a right word, but accepted the consequences of our decisions by taking on debt, right? And then have to pay that interest. Now think of that interest and that money that creditors have made all this time. And you know what? We've taken hits. Everybody's taken hits. Maybe it's time that they take a little bit of a hit. You know, the money's still going to come back to them. It's not that I don't want to pay my debt. It's that, you know, for you to hold it over my head right now in this time isn't the right thing to do. So
Plus, that just induces more stress on people. I mean,
I just read an article. It said that the Fed's going to make up to $4 trillion in loans to businesses to rescue the U.S. economy. So that came out today from MarketWatch.
To rescue, I don't think it's going to be possible to rescue anytime soon because we haven't even seen the shit show start.
exactly.
I think you're right.
Well, here's the thing. And like my buddy said, you know, he's a small business owner, right? He says, okay, so the government's going to give me a 0 interest loan that I'm going to take out to continue to pay my employees to sit home and not be productive and not make money. But yet I'm going to continue to pay them. So now I have to take out a loan that I have to pay back, even though there's no interest. It's still money I'm spending for something I'm not getting my value from. And he's right, you know, so okay, we're going to grant all these loans. So you're just going to give me money that I got to pay you back to pay people to sit home, that it's not my fault that they're sitting home. That doesn't make any sense either. But still, it's still money that you have to, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Right. Oh man.
Yeah. I feel like we were more prepared. We were way prepared.
Right. And here, well, here's the thing to that, right? All of us basically had an idea or knew what was coming middle of January. Did we not? Most
Oh,
of
yeah.
us have been on social media. You know, everybody's like, oh, we're on. Anybody on Facebook, I almost guarantee, had no clue what was coming until probably 4 weeks ago.
Last week.
Right. Right.
Yeah, or last week.
or as soon as last
Yeah.
week. Right.
Yeah.
But we knew the middle of January. We knew the beginning of January when this Corona thing started in China. And as soon as it spread outside of China's borders, you almost knew, okay, how long, what's the time frame? How long before it gets here? And if it
Yep.
does, what's going to happen? Right. So thank goodness for the networking that we've created for ourselves.
Yeah.
And this information highway that's here that we've taken advantage of, and not just being salty and not just going and trolling Twitter, right? We're all talking about real life shit. So I think that's been a blessing and a benefit to a lot of people as well.
And assumably we have milk and eggs and stuff. I have a friend who never listens to me and always thinks I'm insane, and said, she's like, well, how am I going to get milk and eggs? There aren't any milk and eggs at the store right now. Dude, you should listen to me like a long time ago. And
Right.
I don't know how you're going to get milk and eggs, man. You're gonna have to figure it out. Because
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not that mean. I take care of my immediate neighbors and stuff, but she's like
Right.
far away, and I'm just like, I don't know, man.
I actually
Yeah,
switched to almond milk. I don't even drink cow's milk anymore. I'm all in almond milk, man.
I hate milk, but my kids like it, so gotta have
Hey,
some.
I think Lauren's in New York. No, Lauren, are you guys on shelter in place? Are you able to leave? Oh, yeah. There's another Lauren. A Lauren. She's in. I think she's in New York. That's okay.
Lauren, Hazel, we're all on lockdown. Oh,
Yeah, but they can leave.
okay. How do you
Crazy.
do that, fancy talking?
Yeah, I'm seeing the pop-ups in the chat too.
Hiding over there in the corner.
Welcome, Matthew.
How you guys doing?
Good. How
man.
are you?
I'm amazing. We just started our lockdown today. Just got announced by our governor, and it actually goes in. Sorry, tomorrow at midnight.
What state are you in?
Ohio.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, shit. I'm not far behind that. Right. Yeah. So it's gonna, if Ohio's starting tomorrow, we'll probably start on Wednesday. Beautiful.
So Mitch, what are you going to do when you get locked down?
What am I? I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, no, aside from this,
Right? I mean,
you're just
I'm
going to be on
doing it
live
right now.
streams
I'm going
all
to
day.
continue to do this. You'll see.
24/7.
Oh, look at this. Mitch is still live on YouTube. I mean, that's all
He'll
I'm
have
gonna
like the
do.
longest crypto Twitter
Right.
live stream.
Hell
in
yeah. Right. Each day of the lockdown, I remove an article, right?
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
They'll do that. It'll be out there forever.
I know, right?
20 years from now, they'll be looking at you like, what the hell are they thinking?
It'd be like the beginning of the end. Yeah.
Right.
We
Party
just
run
decided to shock
1990,
everybody forever.
Baby.
Not pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Right.
Ah!
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. A full body condom, right?
Doesn't that violate the 6-foot radius? I mean, unless you're really, really well situated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right?
No.
Usually it's
This is
us that
what this
takes us off the
conversation
rails.
has
Holy
evolved
shit.
into.
Too much.
Oh, that's all right. It's all about having
Goodness.
fun, right?
Good for you.
Mhm.
Cat, she
Yes,
had to,
laughing
Cat had
is
to
good
leave.
therapy.
I mean, Laura's been on lockdown for a couple weeks now, guys. So you have to just kind of let it flow, right? I mean,
But wait a
well,
minute, what
wait,
does
just let it
lockdown
happen.
mean in her state though?
Yeah, right. Deprivation.
Ooh.
Literally.
Oh,
If
shit.
we all shared it, it would definitely go viral.
I was gonna say, Mitch, I got some 3-inch stickers. I don't know how many you need, but
One will do. It's cool.
On that note,
But wait a minute, what does lockdown mean in your state? Because every state has a different definition of what you're supposed to be doing.
This is
right.
true. This is true.
No,
not
this is true.
streaking, number one.
No, right.
No streaking. Okay.
That'll be number 1 on the list in Montana when we go into lockdown.
Okay, so Matthew, if you guys just went on lockdown, what are the stipulations? What do they say that constitutes you being locked down? What rules do you have to follow at this time? Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, who was it that brought that question up? Introduce
Me.
yourself, please.
Lauren, hey, the one with the
Okay,
wearing
Lauren.
Star Wars stuff.
I just don't have
Vader
enough
hat.
grid. I don't have enough grid view. Huh?
Your screen's not big enough. Make
Oh,
it bigger.
it's not.
Make it bigger. If Amazon starts shipping again, I'll just get a 65-inch headed your way.
There you go. That's
You'll
what
be
I
set.
need. You know. a
Yeah, you
big
just sit at home on your
65
live stream. You got everybody in your living room. It'll be perfect.
I think he said he's on the phone now, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
Matthew? Yeah, I don't think he can answer right now.
So Lauren, you guys are locked down, but you can leave.
You can leave. It's
So
just
then-
like the employees at home, depending on what you're doing, unless like your business qualifies as essential. So for instance, Best Buy got the can stay open.
Yeah, they delivered
Right.
your car now in the parking lot.
Yeah, so Best Buy can stay open. Stores like that have claimed the essential whatever and got approval, they could stay open. Grocery stores, liquor stores, pharmacies can stay open, that kind of stuff. But everybody else, they're either saying work from home or stay home and limit your travel on the MTA because we have mass transit. So that's
Mhm.
still running. So they're like limiting that. The schools are open to give out food, and there's some schools that are providing care for people who has children who have nurses and stuff. They have their kids, and it's just them in the house. So they have supposedly a couple of places where you could drop the kids off for a few hours to try to do it that way. But other than that, no one's saying you can't get on the highway and move and go to another state.
Wow, that's crazy. You would think that would be one of the main stipulations is that to travel locally might be okay for necessities. Like you can go out to the grocery store and get something that you need, but to
Yeah,
travel across
yeah.
state lines, you would think that there would be an additional stipulation to say why are you traveling at this point? Huh? Interesting.
But how would they really
I'll put it in the oven.
like
I'm just waiting for it to
supervise
brown
that?
and put the sauce on it.
It was already boiled out. At all. And Jimmy,
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is probably what the National Guard would do once they come on board, and maybe.
Yeah, have you all seen lots? Sorry. Have you all seen lots of National Guard movement?
I
No.
I
haven't.
haven't yet.
On Twitter. I mean, there's been a ton of helicopters in the area, and I'm real close to DC and Arlington, Fairfax. I mean, a ton of helicopters, but haven't seen any of these trains, full of military vehicles yet.
Okay, well, one of my friends saw the train. I trust her to know that, because we do have train tracks running right through our town here. And she
Mhm.
said there were 118 Humvees on that train. We also have National Guard in my town. And that seems to not be really doing anything. For a couple days, I was seeing some helicopters, which is unusual, but this was like probably 5 days ago. And now all I see are twin engine commercial aircraft. And they're not going to the National Guard. They're going to like our local county airport, and they're not military. And I only know that because on one of my walks, I met this college girl. We were 6 feet apart, but she was in college and she was, you know, homebound, and she's studying air traffic control. And so I was asking her, I'm like, yeah, I know, it's cool. I'm like, so tell me, what are these airplanes? And she's like, well, they're not military. And she goes, it looks like they're heading towards our county airport. And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, that's all I can tell you. I don't know why.
No coincidences, right?
I wanted her to have all the answers, but she didn't. So
Right.
I don't know.
Unacceptable.
I know.
So getting back to Matthew, to that question, what did they announce any kind of stipulations for you to be able to, you either have to shelter in place, and for what reasons are you allowed, if you're allowed to leave your home?
We're allowed to leave the home. I apologize. I have to just keep it quiet because I think you saw in the chat, my girlfriend's a doctor. So what happens in here in the Cleveland area is they call into the COVID hotline and they get put on a list of callbacks. So so doctors in their free time are allowed to sign up for 4-hour blocks, and she sits on the couch and calls all these numbers back so they could talk to a doctor and tell them about their symptoms and things like that.
Cool.
But over here, we're allowed to leave, but the governor said, all business besides essential businesses are closed. They close the daycares today, besides a daycare that gets a license for pandemic care, which means there's like people there who are essential workers that have to put their kids somewhere, or doctors with kids or what have you. Then you get a certificate that say that you're allowed to be open, and there's only allowed to be 6 kids per unit of daycare. So, and they're supposed to be separated. So it's 6 kids per one teacher or instructor or whatever you want to say, observer, and then in one room, and then they can't cross with other rooms, or there's no shared space or what have you. Besides that, there's we're allowed to go out for exercise, but I guess what this means is stay at home, everybody's closed, but you are still allowed to kind of go out for fresh air. The governor is really, recommending that. My personal opinion is I think that the government is trying to kind of like wean us into like a full lockdown. I think that is a good thing to do. I think that they should just pull the Band-Aid off quickly, put us in a full lockdown, stop interstate travel, and let's see how the COVID spreads. I think everybody that has a background in data knows that you can't get a really good assessment of what the data is doing if you have people still putting things into the pot and taking things out. And then that's what interstate travel is doing. People coming from Pennsylvania, Michigan, Indiana, West Virginia. We're surrounded by 5 states in Ohio. It's impossible to know where anything's coming from if states are not acting the same way as Ohio's acting when we're talking about shelter in place.
Exactly. The data really gets askew at that point. You don't know if what you're doing is working or not, because you still have all that the non-information, all that information that you don't have.
Right. Compounding effects. You just don't know. When it comes to interstate travel, if somebody's coming from Florida, like those kids that were in Florida for spring break and they're driving across the country and coming back into Ohio, okay, sure, they have to come home, but you at least have to know that they came from a spring break. They're traveling through XYZ states and they're ending up in Ohio, and then that's where their parents' house is. Truck drivers, of course, we're going to know logistically that they picked up a shipment at A and they're going to B. But other than that, I think everybody just needs to stay in their state so we can understand what's going on and how it's going to spread. If we don't understand how it's going to spread, we're going to be dealing with a big mess in fall.
Oh yeah.
And what about Italy? Italy's been locked down and trying to lock down, and they don't seem to be improving. I haven't looked at the numbers today for Italy, but anybody know?
They make the juices when he makes
the juices.
Get off Zoom before you make your juices.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yesterday the one road, something about the agreement with allowing the Chinese to live in their country, and Yeah, something I can't think of. I was checking my phone, but I'm talking to it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that would make sense. Their New Year's had just ended. People were all going back home, you know, or to their respective countries. Like, hello, that's going to obviously create a bunch of community spread.
Let me guess, you're working on it, right? No, just kidding.
We're on quarantine. What else are we doing?
Oh my God. Or a lot of, yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's so many people not taking it seriously, and so many people that didn't take it seriously at the beginning, especially. And like you say, they're just going to be so shocked as soon as this really starts to hit. I mean, we're already there, but there's still people that don't believe it's gonna go away. It's gonna blow over. It's 14 days because that's how long you have to self quarantine, and then that's the end of it. And it's it's ignorance, and I think it's also denial of not wanting to believe that this is really happening. Because I mean, I get it. It's like this is a dream. I think it's like that for all of us. Is this really happening? I mean, we've seen all these pandemics, or epidemics as they start, and they never go this far. This is the first one that's ever really gone this far, and it's been this extreme.
Yeah.
It's going to be an eye opener for a lot of us, I think.
Yeah.
You guys asked about the Italy numbers. I just put it up. They have 5,560 new cases today and 651 deaths today.
Wow.
And they've been doing this self-quarantine for, since the 9th? I think I just looked it up today. I think it was March 9th, but maybe Northern
almost
Italy
2
was
weeks
further.
at least, yeah.
Northern Italy maybe was earlier. I'm not sure.
So maybe that's why their numbers are growing, because if they shut their borders down, and a minimum, wouldn't it take a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks for everything to finally exasperate itself? Like if you stopped everybody from moving, I mean, if nobody actually did anything and everybody stayed absolutely still, how long would it take for those numbers to actually show the data, right?
Right. Yeah. Once you start figuring in the amount of time it takes to get everybody tested, and people start showing symptoms to realize they even need to go in and get tested. And yeah, there's that delay period of,
right.
And that's, I think, what we're going to see with the US, because if you look at our numbers,
we're already seeing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, look at
it's
New
already
York.
starting to go up. We definitely have way more cases than the numbers are. There's probably hundreds of thousands.
Did you guys read this blog article I just put in the chat by Jason Scott Warner about the sober math everyone must understand about the pandemic?
No, it'd be
Opening
nice
right
to.
now.
This one is a great read. He talks about exponentials, and he talks about what the math does from when he wrote this. And let me see when the date was. He wrote this was March 16th, but I think he wrote it on March 16th, and he was dating it for the 18th. But he shows about the growth of the virus through the U.S. from the 18th until the 23rd, which is tomorrow, and how many people, if we did not go on a complete excessive quarantine, and how it would grow to the United States. So he's predicting through his numbers that we're going to have around 10 million people infected if we don't lock down by tomorrow, with 1.5 million in serious condition, plus 5% of that 1.5 million in ICU. Very, very interesting article. I think it's a must read for everybody.
Do we have enough ICU for 5% of 1.5 million?
No, we don't.
No.
I could tell you that from New York right now. They're turning the convention centers and commandeering some of the dorms. I mean, that's the reason why the state told the state schools to eventually go, because they're going to use the dorms as essentially quarantine and hospitals at this point. They were waiting for the National Guard, and they were waiting for funding to attempt to do this, because the whole quarantine pretty much, it wasn't done the way it was supposed to be done. And considering like New York City being the target for terrorist attacks, part of the preparedness plan that was supposedly enacted like 15 years ago was bioterrorism. So technically, some of the things, I think some of the approval things for New York that didn't go through, they were looking, well, New York City should be okay because you guys had this XYZ and billions of dollars set aside just like that. But obviously, a whole bunch of people retired and money disappeared and stuff didn't go where it's supposed to. But one of the top health officials for New York, I haven't heard an article or interview since they said this. They basically said it to folks in New York City, particularly, it's like, listen, you all got it. Don't come to test. There's no sense of us counting you. Don't show up to the hospitals unless you're showing extreme symptoms. Stay inside the house. Most people recover with mild symptoms, and let the people who are really, really sick get inside the hospitals, because we do not have enough room. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd rather hold it from that, because you got the MTA, you got they're letting people out the prisons, and they're like, okay, well, I mean, at this point, they said, if you pretend everybody has it, because you probably already do, because we've all come in contact with it, and act accordingly, we will be able to actually do something. It was basically his point at this stage of the game, based on how the response was going from this agency doesn't want to come in and do something, that agency doesn't want to come in and do anything, and then the president ignoring the shit. They said, at this point, if you pretend you all got it and stay in the house, relatively minimal contact, the folks who are really sick can get into the hospitals. Because the other issue was, there were like pregnant women. There's a lot of women due to give birth. Like one contracted, the virus from one of the workers who was handling the baby. So,
oh God.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, I know the numbers are higher because I know nurses who are currently in the hospitals, and they were saying like they don't have enough tests to test the people who work in the NICU, and they're handling the kids, and the kids are
Or
contracting.
PPE. They're wearing the same mask all day long in a lot of hospitals. I mean,
right. So it's just like a crazy situation over here right now.
Hydrochloroquine.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
why he's a professor.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't like getting political, but I think he's a monkey, and at this point,
you made me choke my water.
So I mean, the thing is,
Stop.
I'm not going to say here, like, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a drug scientist, I'm a pharmaceutical guy, any of that stuff, but from the little bit of research that I've done on this drug, so first off, malaria is a parasite. Coronavirus is obviously a virus, two different things. He also says that combining it with, and I forget which antibiotic was, but there was an antibiotic that he was saying when you combine it with it, it helps. And again, bacteria, virus, two different things. They can treat symptoms. So, but going back, so chloroquine, what it does is when the parasite tries to reproduce and tries to latch onto the cell and do whatever it does, it creates a byproduct. And chloroquine prevents your body from creating the substance that kills or destroys that byproduct, and that causes the parasite to basically auto-digest itself because it dies because of its byproduct. That's my limited understanding based on, I'm not, like I said, this is not my field, but I was curious, so I did a little bit of research. So if there was a similar mechanism that was occurring with the coronavirus, then maybe that would help. I don't know. I don't understand the connection, but to me, it doesn't seem like something that would be necessarily helpful. I don't know. We'll see. Once they actually start doing testing at that point, then we can make claims. I think the biggest thing is you start tweeting this stuff out, and then people go, okay, well, this is obviously a cure, even though it's not been tested in this particular case. And so then they start buying it. And then the people that have to use it already start buying it because they're afraid they're not going to get it. And now we have shortages on another drug that somebody needs that may or may not be effective for coronavirus. So whether it does or does not work, I think the way that it was handled, as far as the announcement goes, I think it was horseshit.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
my political
I
moment for the
agree.
day, but
Stupid.
And J-Mac. Yeah. But she drank the absinthe. That's the difference right there, right?
there's the cure, absinthe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you're gonna have all of the United States drinking absinthe, and there's
Oh,
That'll be
Jesus.
amazing.
I feel like we
nobody's gonna be
need
able to
that.
find any sugar to drip the shit over. Well done, Laura.
Ruined it for everybody.
Please don't tweet that. I can see it now.
I know, right?
Oh Lord.
Well, here, now let me throw a wrench into your hypothesis there. I didn't get sick either, but I didn't drink absinthe. I did drink the water though.
She said, I
Maybe
drink
that's
everything
why
someone put in
you
front
got the
of me."
coronavirus.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think something that's also important too is that I don't suspect that there's actually going to be a cure, right? I mean, it's a virus, and viral infections are not really something that you can cure, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't
has
have
to
the
go
cold,
through
we
your
wouldn't have the
body,
flu. Like,
right.
you can do
It just
things
has
that
to
help
go.
your body fight it
Like
better. Like
boosting your
in the case of
immune system.
exactly. Like in the case of the chloroquine, by forcing some of those viral cells to auto digest, then your immune system doesn't have to fight as hard, and so you can sustain and make it through. So I think all we can do is build an immunization over time. Whether it's, obviously we're going to have vaccines and such, but of course natural immunities will form too. Of course,
Yeah.
I have been seeing some articles about how coronavirus is slightly different in the way the immune system responds to it. I don't know what the scientific basis behind that is, or if it's really true, but
I gotta
um,
find my friend
be interesting
because
to see.
he's been researching that and he's like been posting stuff, but he's like giving like, hey, this is the research, this is what they know so far, this is all the things we don't know. But like his suggestion was like, look, what you need to do is really boost your immune system to give your body a fighting chance of actually boosting it. I mean, and then another thing he said, he's like, he was telling people, like, listen, if you're smoking, don't smoke because this thing attacks your lungs. So you don't need that extra if you do contract it, you know. So I think that's something that no one has said in the news. I'm like, well, why don't you tell smokers now is a good time to quit? Because, you know, if you get it,
Yeah.
it affects your lungs because basically when you smoke and you're inhaling, you know, you basically destabilize the cilia in your lungs, which like is your lungs filter. You turn that off when you smoke. So with something that attacks your lungs and basically incapacitates you from breathing, now's a good time to not smoke, but they're not saying that shit.
Well, you know, coming from us diehard smokers that, you know, I'm not proud of it, but I will say this, that the damage has been done to my lungs. And for me to back off has been nothing more than helping my lungs to heal. Um, but I do want to add one thing that we can do is positivity and a mindset. When your mind is healthy and when you're focusing more on positive things and things that make you smile, things that make you laugh, you know, that mental state will help your body in ways that you can't even fathom. I don't care if it's vitamin D, vitamin C, whatever it is, to laugh, to smile, to remember that there's still positives out there and to focus on those things will help you a lot more than the worrisome fear of, oh my God, if I catch this, right? So it's one thing to prepare for it and it's another thing to worry about it. And we can't worry ourselves about it. We just have to be prepared for it the best we can and stay focused on the positivity in life. Every day the sun comes up,
Right.
every day the birds chirp, right? Until those things stop happening, then we always have something positive to look forward to. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's so much going around about this virus. There's so much going around about the fall of the financial system, the collapse of the financial system globally, you know, all this global famine and all these things that are happening. But you know what? There's still positives out there that we all have to focus on because otherwise you'll lose your shit. So, you know, those are one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, why we try to, you know, keep our podcast going, keep guests coming on, keep people laughing, you know, engage people to think outside the box. You know, those things we think will help this community and help everybody in the long run with that mindset. And we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep people positive, especially like the older folks around me who do live, because every time they turn around, they think they're gonna die. And I'm
Right.
like, I was like, no, you're gonna be fine. You know, just you gotta be a little careful. But you know, it's like they're so scared, they just think that it's a death. Like as soon as they get it, like they're scared to death. And I'm like, you know, if I don't know, people call people, Zoom people, you know, FaceTime them, whatever, just like, hey, how you doing? You know, let's just laugh because a lot of them kind of are in this place where they think this is the great purge. And I'm trying my best to like, listen, we're gonna get through it, you're gonna be all right, you know. I think that's
Totally.
important.
You've got to maintain that little bit of normalcy, right? You got to
Right.
keep, you know, it's cool to have it be different, but yeah, you got to try to keep things the same and keep yourself sane a little bit if you can. Like we had this, my son's birthday, my youngest was this weekend,
Mhm.
and my father-in-law is like almost 70, and my
Mm.
parents are in their 50s,
Mhm.
so you know they can't come up and risk
Right.
that. They're 150 miles away, so for them to make the trip to come up here for the birthday
Yeah,
is
that's
a
a
little
lot.
sketchy.
Yeah.
So we just fired up a Zoom call and they both joined us from Zoom, and we had the
Nice.
birthday party. And so it was, you know, for him, he's 5, he just turned 6. He doesn't know anything different. He was excited. He's like, Grandma and Grandpa were here. We had my cake. They watched me open my presents. We went bowling
Aw.
in the
Oh,
hallway.
see?
And so it's like those little things, we have the technologies that can maintain our sanity. You know, we have the ability to do this now. It's not like we're totally isolated unless the internet somehow goes down, which I mean, that
Hopefully
would be
not.
a very, very, very hard thing to accomplish. There's so many alternate ways of connecting to the internet, that it would take a great deal of things to occur for that to happen. But short of that, we have the ability to maintain our sanity and keep living life in a somewhat normal fashion, regardless of how crazy the outside world gets.
Hey guys, not to change subtopics, I just want to say it was very nice to meet everybody. I have to go, and thanks for letting me pop in.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks
thank
for
you for
joining us,
coming
man. It was a
on.
great time.
Matthew.
Appreciate it, Matthew. Have yourself a good day. Be safe.
All right, thanks, brother.
Peace.
See you soon.
All right, so let's change this up a little bit. Should we talk about taxes? I heard they put it off till the 15th of July, so I was like, okay, that gives
I'll
me
be
a
able to
lot
make
more
it
time to figure out my crypto shit.
How the fuck do I do my taxes this year? I don't
Right?
even know. Don't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to say that I didn't tech support somebody's taxes this morning.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I was like, okay, explain this to me. How do I figure this out? It took us almost 45 minutes, and there wasn't 10 transactions that we figured out.
There's like 12. I can't promise you that I told you the right information, but
Well, the way
I'm sorry,
we did
I'm
the
not
math,
your audit partner at this point.
no. The way we did the math, it all made sense, and I think I ended up making $35. So
Hey.
woohoo! There you
Good
go,
profits.
I'll give you 15. Call it even. Right? Big spender.
And that capital gains tax is really going to be hard for you this week.
It is. It is. Right. Perfect. Nice. Who's next?
But you just started talking, so that means you.
All right, I'll go. Well, it's not fair because I'm really haven't been in quarantine yet, other than the self distancing that I've been doing. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think if I were to be totally isolated as far as being able to go out and go to work and beat nails and stuff like that, all that fun stuff that I do, I would say that the best part of it would be not to mention the more time with my family and maybe finding ways to spend time with them a little bit more creatively than usual. But I also think that it would give me more time to help others as far as the positive mental mindset that we can keep, right? I it's always been my goal on Twitter. It's always been my goal with community since I got into crypto, to be that guy, to be that person that helps spread positivity in the space. And I think that would be what I'm called to do. That would be my mission as it is today, and it has been. But it would just afford me more time to be able to do that. And it's amazing the feeling you get when somebody responds to you and says, thank you. What you did today or what you said today made a difference in my life. When that happens, that feeling is just, it brings you goosebumps. It's amazing. And it just gives you that much more drive to want to be that way for other people as well. So that would be my positive thing, the thing that I would enjoy the most. The least, I guess, just being able to get out and go do what it is you want to do, because you can't, right? So we've all grown accustomed to, at least in America, if we have the money, or if we have the time, or if we have the energy or the means to do it, we can do anything we want to do. But now we can't, right? So I guess that would be the hard part. That would be the negative side of it. You know, I still have the ability to take a shower, so I don't have to worry about that part, but yeah, so that would be my, it is, yeah, definitely. No, oh, goodness. I think I should have grabbed a beer instead of a coffee.
Yeah, you picked the wrong beverage for this podcast.
I know, right?
I got the whiskey going, so I don't care if it's 3 o'clock. It's 5 somewhere.
So
Counts.
those are mine. That's my thoughts.
There
Next.
you go. Next, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I'm not really in quarantine, but my wife and kids sort of are, I guess. I mean, the schools are shut down. My wife's a stay-at-home mom anyway, so she's kind of, but I mean, she's got 3 kids stacked on her 24 hours a day, so that's interesting. But as far as it affects me, I mean, I kind of like being home. I mean, I've been self-employed for quite a long time, and so the past 2 years is the first out of the past 7 where I've actually been at a day job and not working for myself. So, and since my wife and I got together in high school, we kind of sort of addicted to being together. So it's been hard for a couple of years, and I'm actually not going to lie, I'm kind of excited to be home a little bit with her and have some more time. But it's also going to be fun, like Mitch said, to be able to do some more of these live streams and actually really dive 100% into the podcast and go crazy, because we've been recording like 3 a week and trying to get them out, but doing live streams is just, there's something a little more fulfilling about it, being able to interact with the community as you're recording the episode. And I also don't have to edit it afterwards, which is even better. And then as far as, not being able to go out, I don't really go to bars. I don't really do any of that. I like to go hunting and fishing and riding 4-wheelers and stuff where there's not anybody within 10, 20 miles of me. Right. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be okay. All right. Like I've got all my workshops set up, and I could build just about anything I could possibly need. I mean, I think other than that, I think I'm going to be good to go.
I'd be curious to know how many people that are in quarantine actually have young kids that still have to take naps, and how many at naps have actually started to happen more because mom and dad are like, yeah, it's time for
we might have to consider a
you
nap.
guys got to take another
again.
nap. I know you guys are tired. Look at you. You got bags under your eyes. You really need to get some rest.
Don't worry, I'm working on it. There will be a 3D printed children's hamster wheel tomorrow.
Did I lose everyone?
Yep. This is the moment where we all just sit here quietly for 30 minutes.
They're pretty good. My 17-year-old is very much an introvert. He does not like to leave the house. He likes to game and talk to his friends on the computer. So he's golden. Yeah, my 12-year-old he likes to socialize. He likes to be out. He likes to do things. So he's struggling a little bit more, but he'll be okay. No, I'm not.
What they could do is plant a garden. pick up dog
Yeah,
poop.
we're gonna do that. It's too cold
Put 'em
in
to work.
Northern Illinois right now.
Yeah, it's too cold here too.
Yeah.
It's like
Well-
30 degrees. No, that's the fun. That's how they exactly. When I was a kid, I had
Hey,
to
that's
do
a
that.
Great contest.
I picked up the most every time.
I thought
You throw a
about
$5 bill in there, they will. Or
There you
excuse me,
go.
a few sats.
I thought about a fire pit. We have like, well, we have a couple, but I would not do that. We have like neighborhood kids and stuff like that. I thought about having one like at a time over at some point, and like maybe the mom out in the backyard with the chimenea roasting marshmallows, you know. So you can yell at each other. Yep. Right. Right. I agree. I know. We would have fun. We would have fun.
I'm not sure that law enforcement would enjoy you two being neighbors. It just doesn't
We already
sound
have
like it's
plans
gonna
for
end
the
well.
National Guard.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Oh, great. Perfect.
God, I can't remember. What was my position? Maybe. Yeah, I think I was. Well, I think, I don't know. I was working for Lisa, I think. Which, yeah, which I think was security. Yeah. I think I was going to be a spy. That's what I was going to be. I was going to be a spy. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah, we do. Anybody else still on?
I don't know.
Lauren and Paul are still connected. I don't know if they're still
Are
with
they?
us.
It has been fun.
It'll definitely make you more fun. That's if
Definitely.
nothing else. That's all that matters.
Definitely.
Stay positive, keep them smiles up, have a good time.
And don't
Yeah.
worry, Mitch won't be streaking anytime soon.
Yeah.
Put all the guys at ease. You know, it's just not going to happen. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Whatever you say.
Thank you guys for coming on the show or coming on today. This was a great talk. So thank you so much.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, now the party's over.
Right?
It's all done. It's all done. It's all over.
All done.
Nope. Broke it all. No. Okay. So who's reading what while you're in the apocalypse?
Yeah, right?
No, they just left us. We're all just. That's
Yeah,
just
they're all
Look,
gone.
you say LT leaves and then it's just done. Come on.
Now we know why everybody was here.
Exactly.
It's all right.
Exactly. Damn. No, this was a good time. And yeah, I mean, whatever we can do to stay positive, right? We just got to keep going, keep talking to the community, keep offering these opportunities to bring everybody together. And I don't know, like Laura was saying, just finding new ways to interact in person.
Right.
So you can maintain that in-person connection too, even if they're not like, oh shit, the party has started again.
Oh,
you
really?
ready?
Who's here?
Alon has arrived.
Nice. We were just getting ready to talk about the rap battles too. Alon Gorin, what's happening, brother?
What's up, man? You want to know the funny story? So literally, we just had a bunch of people and everybody just left, and we were like just about to close up because we were like, fuck it. They all left. We weren't even closing, and they just left, and we are like, fuck, I guess the party's over. And then ding dong.
Second round.
I love
Perfect.
it. Well, yeah, I'm home with the kids and stuff like that, and I'll probably have to go pretty quickly. But I saw the thing, and I was like, I wonder if they're still on.
Yeah,
And
jump
then
on
I
and say
saw,
hi in.
right, I went to I literally just refreshed Twitter, and right at the top was Mitch posting the YouTube stream. So like, oh, they're still there. But
Nice.
I went back and found it.
Awesome.
Nice.
How's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Going
How's your
good.
day? What is life like for you right now?
Yeah.
Crazy. It's
Shit.
just, like trapped at home, playing with the kids, doing work, then, doing homework with the kids, then doing work, and then kids
Feeding
go to sleep, then doing work. It's like,
Right.
It never ends, right? Like
Yeah.
where was it you that tweeted this morning? Was like, where is there weekends anymore? Do weekends still exist? I don't know if that was you, but
I posted like, are weekends still a thing? Like,
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Something like that. It doesn't feel like it, right? It just feels like it's just all running into each other now at this point.
I think we're like always online, but this is like a totally different version of that. Like, it's just craziness because every day is kind of the same.
It is.
We're all glued to Twitter and reading bad news and hopefully trying to smile and be positive, but it's hard.
It is.
Well, yeah, it is. It is challenging. And, I think it's important that we do what we do. And, to be honest, you sparked this whole thing with us last week when you did yours did that little get together on Monday. I was like, and the professor and I were like, man, we got to do this. So boom, there we were. And, just a great way to interact with everyone.
Well, it's funny because it goes way back because Mitch, I might have told you this, but this is actually how I met Alon for the first time.
Right. Yeah, you
Because,
did.
yeah, he was just like
one of those Zoom meetings that I did.
Yeah, you posted on Twitter and you were like, fuck, let's have a Zoom meeting. And I jumped on and there was like Coin Stories and a few other people,
Oh,
Sweeps.
yeah, Jason.
Jason. And
he's awesome.
It was crazy. And so it just kind of all spiraled from there. But yeah, man.
Dude, this is cool. This what? This just needs to be like the format of some special new thing that we do together.
Right, seriously.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a good. So we've briefly talked about this, and we haven't really. I mean, it just seems like there's too much to manage to make it happen. Just because I don't have enough time to manage it, but maybe somebody else wants to take the reins. But
right.
Set up like a fucking 24/7 live stream, and just everybody has like an hour slot, and so you get all of us content creators, and we jump on for an hour, and we just keep on hosting the live stream, and then whoever has an hour next time is the new host for the next hour. And
right.
But it seems
or just leave it open. People can jump on and shoot the shit and then jump off, whatever.
Yeah, I wonder if like there's a simple way like for maybe
What's up, Bryce?
Hey, Rice.
Hey.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what you think it is. Sorry, I was trying to be quiet, but
so I think but I think when you like record on Zoom, you only have like a certain only when you turn it off does like the recording happen. I don't know. I was gonna say like if a Zoom was on for 24 hours, but different people were the hosts. If you're the host, you can hit record, but I don't know. We got to think it through. There's got to be
right.
A way. There's got to be a way.
Listen, I've been in Zoom meetings before, like where the host has left, and I was somehow like put on as the host because
you can click on somebody and like
make so as long as
host.
It's like tag teaming. So as long as somebody picks up the hosting spot, then
right.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Zoom had stayed connected, because I could set up I could have one of my computers connected as the host with no video or anything on, and I could just have it sit and run and be the host, and then we could have everybody else who's supposed to get on already assigned as a host, and they can jump on and do whatever.
We'll just have a virtual fire
and then just stream that forever.
Yeah, exactly. That would be awesome.
Crypto stream, and then you could just anoint a bunch of different people hosts so that they could come in for an hour at a time or something, or just anybody comes in and talks.
Right.
That could. Well, yeah. I don't know.
It's like
just uncensored. Let everybody go at it. It's whatever.
24/7 like crypto, Bitcoin, AMA, and just try and assign office hours for different people. Just leave it streaming forever.
That'd be sweet.
The professor had talked about setting up buying some property on, what was it called?
Crypto voxels,
and actually setting up a campfire spot where everybody could like camp out, right? So like if you felt like going camping that weekend, you just camp out and you sit around the fire and everybody, talks about whatever. You know, just
Yeah, you
kind
can
of
do that. You can do that with
gathering spot.
Decentraland as well.
Yeah, Decentraland does it too, and I really haven't spent any time in either of them to know which one is better and which one is not.
I spent
so.
a little bit in Decentraland, and I've heard really good things about Crypto Voxels. I've heard good things about both of them. So I mean, I hope you know, we definitely need more than one platform as well. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's a good idea. I think the virtual reality, augmented reality, as much as we can incorporate those kind of things. With Rehash Cast, I do with Ken Bozak and TJ from Young Dumb Crypto and Jerome from Bits and Tokens. We had started integrating VR via alt space.
Okay.
And trying to actually, where you can actually be in alt space and be watching our live stream from inside of alt space, like the VR
that's pretty
platform.
cool.
That's
So
cool.
kind
Don't you guys have
of
a
a
VR
virtual.
headset?
No, you really don't need one for that. I mean, it would be better if you had one, but a computer with good processing speed, because that's the problem too with a lot of these VR platforms, is that it takes a lot out
Yeah.
of a computer. So if you really don't have a computer that's even like a crappy gaming computer, most regular computers aren't going to be able to handle it. It'd be fairly slow for a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to that experience improving as technology advances.
Right.
Yeah, we really wanted to do a thing where we would all get together and actually physically go camping. This is becoming much more complicated by the moment, unfortunately. This was the quote unquote undisclosed event that we were talking about in July. Part of it was stemmed from this idea. And the general concept is just having a camp out and just all go hang out and set up a 360 camera, and anybody can join in VR and just sit and hang out for a while. And that would be fucking amazing. But streaming 360 camera in VR from anywhere you can go camping
Yeah, that's
is complicated. So
it sounds too complicated.
There's got to be some campsite kind of places, like places where you can pull up RVs and things like that have Wi-Fi nowadays or something.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I mean, even then, I don't know how taxing is streaming
Or you
360 in VR.
It's a lot, and if you're at a place that's, you know, where you have a lot of people using that network too, then you got to take an effect of all the people in the network. And right now, with everybody kind of being in isolation mode, we're using a lot more resources than we would normally utilize in time periods. I don't know if you guys have experienced any lags. I've noticed that a little bit of differences on Hulu and Netflix. I could tell that people are spending a lot of time watching content.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because I don't think it was set up for as many people watching these platforms at one time, because, you know, we weren't planning on having this epidemic.
Right.
Or pandemic, excuse me.
So Alon, you're in California, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna do some beach camping, right?
There you go.
Park on the beach and have a campfire.
Yeah. Nice. I was gonna ask, with this lockdown, are they allowing you guys any like ability to go to the stores, or, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people are going to the stores, and one of my friends is a park ranger, and like one of my best friends from childhood, and he said it was kind of awesome, even though like all the the parks, like the kids parks, are closed. People were going on hikes and being pretty good about keeping distance. And then one of the local newspapers made an announcement that one of the places, it's like a popular hiking spot, is like a great place to go, and it's still open. And so then it became like super packed, and everyone was up in each other's business, and it defeated the whole purpose of it. So I have a feeling that'll get shut down soon. But but people are going on hikes. Like we know like a good spot next to our house, like that we actually found because like some photographer friend took pictures of us and our kids there a couple of years ago. And so we went to the end of this corner of a neighborhood and went on a hike there, and barely came across anybody and did stuff like that. But like, other than that, we're just trapped at home. Like, you see my background, that's because my daughter did a Zoom meeting with her friends, and so I'm with her background. But the reason I have a background is because of you guys, because I watch your guys' feed, and you guys always have backgrounds. So
Perfect.
I wanted to copy.
That's awesome. I had to try out the XSplit, and that's the best. That's the best.
Yeah, perfect.
That's just it. You're gonna have to put that picture, go get it printed out before you can stop doing that. You probably can't anymore already, actually. But anyway, print it out. 8 foot by 10 foot
Yeah.
Just look at it every morning. Wake up.
My daughter's at the table on the other side of my laptop with me coloring right now. It's all good.
Nice.
Life is good. That's all that matters, right? It's everything you need.
Hey, what are we gonna do?
That and chip
Actually,
paper.
my window behind me that's like backlighting me like crazy makes it kind of look like that sunshine is hitting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it
perfect.
does.
I totally
really
planned
good lighting, man.
What about you, Rice? Are you on lockdown where you're at yet?
No, I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I mean,
Okay.
it seems like aside from the fact that restaurants and bars and gyms and places like that are closed, it seems very normal. And the fact that grocery stores are, out of a lot of stuff. And I haven't been to a store since middle of last week. So I'm probably going to run out tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning to pick up a few things that I need. I was waiting on money and things like that. But yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, it's like it feels slightly normal, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I just feel like a lot of shit's about to hit the fan as far as like this whole thing getting worse. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of rollouts where they're pushing more of the self-quarantining, and I think that we're going to see it be forced because we're seeing more of a spread still with what we've suggested to do. And so I'm just really encouraging people to try to do what they can to stay healthy, stay safe, and even though we're not supposed to be like physically interacting with people, I would suggest like talking on the phone or something like that with your neighbors, friends, people around you, and start building your community up and figuring out how everybody can pull resources together and help one another. Because if this does get worse before it gets better, I think that community is going to be a big part of how a lot of people are going to survive and function, period. So I mean, with it being springtime now officially and the weather getting warm, I don't see, and I get a lot of people put me down for saying this, but, and you could tell me what you think, but I live in an apartment building where there's 8 apartments. We all have access from the outside. We don't have like inside entrances, like where we get to come into a common place or anything like that. But we have, my neighbor has a big backyard. And I was thinking about going over to the neighbor's house and asking them how they felt about like getting together with people in my building and doing like some community farming in his backyard. There's nothing being done in the backyard. And I thought it would be a really good idea for us to pull together and like plant things as a community so that we would have fresh food and produce and stuff like that. And then I'm thinking about it, I mean, if we're outside with other people and we're all standing a good 6 feet apart from each other, I don't personally see where it's going to be causing more of an issue. Then I get some people who are like, well, that's irresponsible to do because you're putting other people at risk. But that's where that situation kind of gets like in that gray area. And some people think that I am, off. I wouldn't say for saying shit like that, but
I wouldn't say it's irresponsible. I think it's innovative, if anything, and you're able to take advantage of something. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to be out there at the same time to enjoy doing something like that. Like you could have 2 people out there at a time working the crops or whatever the case may be. It could be done responsibly to where people are taking responsibility for what could be and taking preventative measures to help prevent any spread of anything. Sure. I think that's definitely viable. I don't think that that's irresponsible at all. I think irresponsibility would come from people not taking those precautions and doing it anyways. Right. So I think that would be what makes the difference between the right and the wrong way of doing that. But I think it's ingenious because it's giving people, everybody in the community, a sense of worth to be able to be a part of something like that and benefit from it as well. So,
right.
I think it's an amazing concept.
Thank you. And I appreciate like your input on it. Cause I think that, I really do think that things like this are going to become more more prevalent and in our future. You know, it's kind of like, in a way, I think we're regressing back to, we're going to have to regress back to being able to take care of ourselves and fend for ourselves and live off the land in ways that we hadn't, because we got so comfortable with how things have been with like our food supply and restaurants and all that. And I think that, you know, this gives us an opportunity to really cleanse ourselves and rethink a lot of things about how we've been and how we've lived.
Well, I think, you know, Laura Taylor, you missed it a little earlier. She had spoken about this and, you know, said this is nothing more than becoming truly decentralized, right? We're not going to be relying on a government. We're not relying on the grocery store. We're becoming more self-reliant, and we're becoming more reliant on our communities, because the communities around you are what's going to help you get through it. So I think that was a genius thing for her to say it in that regard, that this is perfect. This is the perfect storm to make that happen, to make that move from being dependent to being independent, to being decentralized.
If anything, this is one hell of a catalyst, and that's for sure.
Catalyst was a better word, definitely.
I like Tiho from Arcane Bear.
The good that's coming from it, right? Getting all closer together, hopefully. Guys, I apologize. I'm glad I caught you. I've got to sneak off. Let's maybe try to do one during the week again.
Yeah, we've had a couple of requests for evening ones already, so we'll probably do one sometime midweekish.
Nice. Yeah, I got my cousin who is a yoga instructor in Israel, and she's gonna do some of these random ones too, and do like yoga classes for who wants to join.
Oh,
which is awesome.
That'll be cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think Rebecca's.
It has to be beginner, because we all sit in front of the computer like 14 hours a day.
Right. Yeah, I'm not wearing yoga pants, so yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But sweatpants definitely.
Actually, you'd be surprised at how comfortable the motherfuckers are. Don't ask me why. I know.
Guys. Why? Yeah. Why do you know that?
Take it easy, Alon.
He's warned
Take it easy, Alon.
Later, guys.
Thanks for coming on the show. See ya.
Yes, I have.
The professor likes tight pants.
I hate tight pants. However, I have put on a pair of my wife's leggings one time, a long time in the past.
You sick fuck.
And
I know.
I was told to do so, but I gladly obliged, and it was quite comfortable.
So it was like a dominatrix type move. Yeah,
he's a submissive little bitch.
They were comfy, super comfy. I kind of wish I was wearing some right now. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I don't care if they're pink.
I just wish my feet were warm right now. I'm in my shop and it's like 55 degrees in here. I just wish my feet were warm.
I only have one question though. I'm kind of wondering if I should go out and buy $5,000 worth of Dogecoin right now.
Ooh.
You know, it seems like it would be the best investment opportunity at this point in time.
Hey, you know, Doge or Digibyte, I think you're probably better off with Digibyte at that point.
But does Digibyte have dancing puppies?
No, definitely not. Dancing puppies.
If you had $5,000 to spend, I would go tell you right now to go shop locally for as much silver as you can buy.
Yeah,
if you can
I don't have $5,000 to dump on Dogecoin. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, I love crypto.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's that's a really important thing actually to be putting out there right now. Is go support your local businesses. And really listen to the guy that's got this weird thing happening behind him. I don't know why I do, but I'm telling you this in all seriousness. You should be supporting local businesses that are trying to stay afloat, because this is a really hard time right now for all of us. And whether it's supporting local businesses or just trying to maintain your own sanity and going out in the world as little as you can, make sure that money goes back into your community. You know,
that's a good point.
Recycle it, keep the ecosystem going. Don't just sit there and hoard everything like most people are doing. Everybody's ordering stuff online if they can because they're trying to stay in. And I get it, you have to do what you got to do, but at the same time you got to be supporting your local businesses. We had a thing on Friday. The radio station organized what did they call it, take out Friday or something. Doesn't matter what it was called. Basically they encouraged everybody to go out and order through the apps from your local businesses today. I shouldn't say today, but on that Friday. And the amount of response they actually got from that was insane. There was so many people actually just followed that and supported their businesses that day, which is cool. And I know it was only a one-day thing, but we should be doing more of that. So Rice, I'm glad you brought that up. Excuse my little rant.
Speaking of Fridays, what about the rap battles? Were those not awesome this week?
That was a hell of a rap battle. We finally actually remember to tag everybody too.
I know, right?
Is it supposed to be just something that you guys are doing like in like type text form, or?
Yeah, man, that's all it is. We just get out there and we throw out some tweets and just fuck around.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
cool.
all in tweet
You
form.
may not be able to call it rap technically, but it's the rap battles.
You can get the rhyme, and if you got any sense of rhythm, you can feel that too. You know.
Well, I threw a couple out there. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was doing. I wasn't sure like if it was something you guys were actually like typing out, and I was doing it right. Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought you
it
guys
was-
were
it
actually
was
going to have
perfect.
like. I thought you guys were actually going to do something like this, like have like
No.
a stream and have people like.
I can't rap. I can write the hell out of it, but I can't spit it.
You guys
man. I
don't want
can't.
me sitting on here on a live stream trying to rap. Not a
Right?
chance.
Hell no.
That's
No.
funny.
But Truth Raider put that one out, and that was funnier than shit.
Like,
That was amazing.
Eat your bat soup. Eat your bat
eat
soup.
your bat soup. Oh,
So
that was
fix that up for him. We'll be good to go.
awesome. I got.
I mean, I've seen some people make some like crazy songs out of just like somebody talking. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of
I would
talent in
love
the world.
I would love to see a really cool trap remix of Truth Raiders' "Eat Your Bat Soup" song.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah. We could get Hooli Savage to throw that out.
There you
That'd be
go.
fun.
Either him or maybe we could talk to
Swift Crook.
Swift Crook. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I gotta get in touch with Hooli, man, because I'm supposed to do a verse for a remix of one of his songs, and I just been like really slacking because of everything else that's been going on. I'm hoping by the end of the week and this weekend I'll have more free time to kind of like just focus on enjoying things, because I've been working so much and doing so much research. It's just been overwhelming.
Somebody said that when you're at home like this and you're continuing to work, it's important to try to keep as much normalcy about it as possible. So like if in the past you used to get up and you used to go to work in the morning and then, take lunch at a certain time and then come home at a certain time, that you should really focus on trying to keep that same routine, waking up at the same time, physically working, doing your work at the same time and quitting at the same time, because it's easy to get lost in this time frame of having no time frame. Right.
Yeah,
and
what I'm trying to do is
you're working 20 hours in a day.
I've been trying to like block my times, like where, like in the morning, I'll have so much time for like spirituality, meditation, and things like that. Then I'll get in, like spend some time into like catching up on like what's going on in the world, with my emails, spend some time, block some time to create content, block some time to make some phone calls.
Yeah. So you're structuring yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, I do like the idea of what you're saying, but I think that people are going to be out of work for a lot longer than what's being said right now.
Sure.
The way that it sounds. And so I wouldn't exactly encourage people to structure their days just like their normal days, but I would encourage them to do something similar, and but allow for yourself some time for like family, for the people that you're with. Allow some time for entertainment, to watch some mindless crap just to get you away from all this. But also allow for yourself some time to educate yourself. Maybe you might have some books that you haven't read that you want to read, or something you might want to reread. So if you like, maybe you spend an hour a day reading, an hour a day. You could change up certain things, but I think it gives us a chance to really kind of catch up and live life, and then at the same time too, we can also learn a new skill, which I think, which is, for me, like I'm taking a lot of time trying to learn Audacity, so I can launch my audio podcast and have decent sounding quality stuff. So I'm trying to take this time to, learn more about some of these programs that I'm trying to use or want to use. So, by structuring my day though, that's been really helpful for me to be able to do that and be able to get enough time in. Because I mean, when this first started happening and I wasn't doing that, I was just spending all day going down all these rabbit holes, and by early evening I was like wanting to take a nap. My brain was just fried. I was overloaded with information.
It's a productive it's a productive black hole is what they are. You know, you get sucked into them and there's no bottom, it seems.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, and you know, I agree. I think you're right. I think we're all going to be in a position like this for quite some time. I don't think it's going to go away by July. I don't think it's going to go away for sure in the next few weeks. But I think it's important to remember that, you know, we got to keep positive about things and learn how to adapt, right? Because life's all about adapting to a situation and overcoming anything that might be a challenge. So I think that will help a lot of people find the time, hopefully, to structure their mindset to thinking of solutions to what problems they're focused on, right? Because everybody's focused on some kind of worry or some kind of problem. So think of a solution instead of dwelling on what it is. Figure out how you can get around it. I think those things will be highly valuable in the long run, if nothing more than for your state of mind.
Yeah, and another piece of advice that I would really, really encourage people, and this is like a really trying time period to do this, but if people can do this and practice it more, I think that it would help a lot of people immensely, especially in the future, is trying not to stress about things that we personally, as individuals, cannot control. There's a lot in this world that's going on that we cannot control, and there's no point in you stressing yourself out, because stress ultimately affects your body. It does affect your immune system.
Weakens it.
So I encourage people to try to stay as positive as possible. I mean, ultimately, if this shit really, really hits the fan like it could, there will be laws put into place where landlords are not going to be able to evict people, where utility companies won't be able to turn utilities off, cable companies, internet providers won't be able to. It'll be like almost as if the world was put on pause, but all the services are going to remain, because if they turn off the internet, they make a lot of people, because if they can't afford it, it's just going to end up causing more problems and allow for more people to want to get out of their house. So the more that they can do to keep people in their homes, I think would be beneficial. But really try not to stress about things we can't control. I think it's one of the most important things that we can also do.
That's 100%. Right.
Because so many people I know are worrying about stuff, and if you're worrying about something that you can't change, you know, that's just wasted energy. And it's as positive as it sounds, it's more negative for you than anything.
It is.
It's a hard thing to do, though. It's really hard to force yourself to not stress and not do it, but it's important that you actually try. You know, it's like you say, it's physically draining. It will actually cause you to be in a worse physical state if you're stressing and panicking, and you're not going to have your wits about you. Your mindset's not going to be right either. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the mental.
Right.
And you're going to be not prepared. Exactly. You're not going to think clearly. You're not going to make the right decisions if things start getting really hairy. You know, right. You're going to need to be 100% if this all goes to hell.
Well, I know people are looking at other people, like maybe even us, that are positive, that are trying to laugh, that are trying to have fun. Like we don't care about the situation that we're in. And it's totally contrary to that. We do care about the situation that everybody's in, but we know in our hearts that the best way to handle it is to remain calm, to have fun, to still make light of things that we can, and to make people laugh. Because that's one of the most important things, I think.
Seriously, think about it like this. If you're stuck upside down on a fucking roller coaster and somebody calls for help, and all of a sudden you've got 50 guys running around at the base of the roller coaster screaming, panicking because they don't know what the hell to do, are you going to feel better at that because there's 50 guys? Or are you going to feel better that there's 2 guys that came out, said, it's going to be okay, we've got you, we're going to fix this?
Or the 4 guys behind you making jokes and farting the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
right?
I mean,
it's that thing. It's that mindset. You got to just be in the right headspace to make sure that you can attack whatever problem is coming at you. That's it.
Well, doing things like this, I mean, you guys are not only providing a little bit of entertainment, but there's a lot of education here. I mean, a lot of people are sharing thoughts, information, and like I've been making posts on my social media that have been getting a lot of responses, just trying to ask people like, hey, do you have coronavirus? You know, I don't know anybody who has it. Can you tell us what's going on? And just trying to get by doing this, you're helping to put information out there is what I'm getting at ultimately. And we need to be able to try to share as much information and share as much of our views of what's going on so that people can make better educated choices and decisions in their lives. Because it doesn't feel like we're getting that from our news media nor our governments right now. If somebody else feels like they're getting that, then, and I'm missing something, please fill me in.
I feel like there's too much push for sensationalism when it comes to the media. There's too much negativity that flies around and not enough positivity that flies around. You know, it's important to get out news. It's important to give out information. It's important to give out good information and solid information, but you got to do it in a way that you're not putting people in a panic state, in a constant worry state. So, you know, basically when I started that conversation was to say that just because somebody doesn't seem like they're concerned about this, they might very well be, but to show that they're proactive about it, I think is a better way to handle it. I don't know.
Some
I'm
people
rambling
can maintain
again.
their composure.
Yeah.
Some people
yeah,
cannot.
that's it. You know, in an emergency situation, you know, if something happens and it's traumatic and you have to respond, what would you rather have on your side? Would you rather have somebody that was level-headed, didn't like freak out and just made shit happen? Or do you want somebody that's going to, oh my God, calm down. You know, you need to stay calm.
Yeah. The 50 guys freaking out at the bottom of the roller coaster.
Right.
Fuck
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Get out of here.
What you said. Oh shit. So yeah, Friday. I want to definitely give a big shout out to Beatscoin.
Oh, that was so cool. I
doing
forgot
that
about that.
giveaway.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. Paulie P won that. It's pretty sick. And they want to do it again next week.
Hey, whatever.
The same thing. They're going to do another giveaway next week. So, you know, thank you for them to help want to unite the community. And I started that hashtag, and hopefully it continues. Hopefully that hashtag starts to really spread, because I think it's important that we all unite the community.
So you're going to say the hashtag. Oh, yeah, unite the community. Okay. I'm slow. Don't worry. I thought you were just forgetting to say the hashtag. I was like, how is anybody going to know it if you don't say it? Don't worry about me.
Community.
Don't worry about me. Can you tell it's been a long morning? See, I'm not 100%. I'm screwed.
Right.
I'm going down with the ship, guys.
We're all going down.
Well, hey guys, I appreciate the invite. I got to get ready to bounce, but I want to let everybody know that at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rehash Cast, me, Ken Bozak, TJ from Young Dumb Crypto, and J Rome are going to be going live on Ken Bozak's social media accounts, and we'll have everything shared. So if anybody wants to tune in, just let me know. And thanks for the invite, guys. You guys stay safe, and I appreciate it. Much love.
Yeah, man, it was great talking to you. Everybody go check that out. Ken Bozak.
Take care of yourself.
It's gonna be amazing.
Likewise.
We'll talk soon. Peace. Man, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do more of these for sure.
Yeah.
Number 2 is not enough.
No.
We're gonna have a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should because it'd be funny because we haven't played video games in so long. We should stream some video game shit.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I've never actually streamed playing a video game because all my video game experience was like prior to the internet, being part of your video games.
My video game experience probably ended when my kids were about 10 or 11. I haven't played video games since probably.
That's what would make it great. We got to do like
2000, 2005 maybe.
I wonder if there's a way to get like.
And that was like Mario Brothers, Smash Brothers, type. What was that? Smash Brothers or whatever it was.
Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
On all of the systems, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can get some old school video game action going on, some old NES stuff somehow. I'm not sure.
Right.
We got to look into this.
Breezy out by you, man. That
might be fun.
Whew, yeah, you gotta chill.
It's picking up. You see what's happening?
Yeah, I see that. The fire's just cooking.
I'm gonna have to oops, hold on. That was my headphone plug, not my hoodie string.
That was my headphone.
Don't worry about me. Okay,
not
now
my
I got
hoodie string.
Not my hoodie string. I can't find it.
Oh shit. So
thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for joining us. Keep an eye out. We're gonna do some more stuff to make sure that we keep involving the community and keep everybody staying positive. It's a good time to be united. Like Mitch said, unite the community.
That's right. That's right. So until next time, and until we see you again on social media in about 20 minutes, you guys have yourselves a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Take it easy.
Peace.